how when you stack the labels, stagger them, then you can see them a little bit quicker and it makes them easier.
Instead of it being one level, you can't see through to the
exactly.
To the back.
Yeah, they're really a neat kind of a tool. Now we've shown the refrigerator over here. That's a clutter for a lot of people. Notice how we've got magnet. I love magnetic things on the refrigerator. They work for holding keys, for holding, the one in the front works for menus, takeout menus. You want to quickly order pizza, Chinese, whatever. They're also a wonderful place if you have papers that you need to sign before your children go back to school. That's a terrific place. A message center if you need to leave messages. A little coupon holder if you're a coupon user, right with your grocery list, then that will show another thing that works.
Is that paper towel holder a
magnetic?
Oh,
they're wonderful. Nice. They also work on the side of microwaves. If you have a microwave that's magnetic, they also work there. They're a terrific tool as well.
Very nice. All right, what do we have here?
Well, all kinds of little tools here, Mary. This is one of my favorites. It's a, by the way, all of these things we're looking at today are under $20. Mm-hmm. So, and there are many of them lifetime investments. I mean, once you get something like this, you'll use it forever. You may change the place that you use it. These are great in the kitchen to hang mugs, towels, whatever else. I use them. You can get ones that are a little bit painted differently than this for jewelry. They're terrific for jewelry. Kids, if they can hang things, are more apt to do it. It's easy to do. So that's a really neat kind of a tool to use for a variety of things. Here's one of these. These are quite popular now. We're seeing a lot of these of dispensers that you put in your bathroom. Some people prefer to just have a hook that you hook over the shower. Some people like these. That's just if you like the smooth, clean look, then someone might prefer that. Here's a thing to organize mops and brooms, and it also has a hook, so you can hang whatever kinds of things. Easy to put, self-adhesive, you can pop it up very quickly. Whenever I move into a new house, the first thing I do is go around and get up hooks. I'm a big promoter of hooks. They now, all these organizing stores have peel-off hooks that you can just get up instantaneous.
Do they work?
Oh, very well. I mean, they really, I mean, you can't swing from them, Mary.
But they stay on there.
Yeah, they really do. They really do. And they're, again, great for kids. I put them in the back of all of our bathrooms. As soon as we move in, it's one of the first things that I do. This is one of my favorite tools. Look how it has holes in the bottom. One of my frustrations in the kitchen are these things always collect dust and they're real. And so this one that's got the holes in the bottom, the dust falls through, and it's much easier to lift this out and dust out. Exactly. Here's another variety if you prefer this kind of a style, if it's got a little bit more different shapes and things like that, so that works well. This can be used in a kitchen cupboard, but you know, it's also wonderful in a refrigerator. That's why we put these things on here, because you can turn it around, and that frustration of you know, the margarine being back in the back really makes a big difference. Many of us have smaller kitchens now, and there's not enough room for all the china. Or I inherited 4 sets of china from my family, and I really like to use them, but there just simply isn't enough space in my kitchen. These are wonderful because you can store the china safely, stick it under the bed, which means it's not that difficult to get out, but it's still going to be safe. So, and they look nice and work as well. This is a really neat organizer in that it's on rollers, so it'll go in and out of your drawer, cupboard, like under the sink, particularly good. And that space is so inaccessible. And this way, if you pull it out, you can do it works under the bathroom. It's terrific for under the bathroom. So that works really well. This is a fun one. You know, the junk drawer, we're going to spend some time.
That's the tough part.
Yeah, you talked about kitchens being tough. I think that's one of the, and this is really neat because notice how it's got labels in it. Okay, see here, I want my pliers. Here's all the different little things that might typically go in a junk drawer, and these just peel off, and you put it in there, and then lo and behold,
that makes it easier.
Yeah. And one of the things about organizing is that if it's easy to do, people will do it, and labels make all the difference in the world. It doesn't mean that people will always get them there, but the chances are better. My experience is that old adage about a place for everything and everything in its place is half right. The place for everything is extremely important. Everything in its place, I mean, not everybody's going to have it. But if you say, okay, today's cleanup day, and there is a place for everything, then, you know, it doesn't take that much longer.
You brought along a junk drawer, and that's a tough one to tackle. We tend to
didn't bring this. I just gathered this from right around here.
Boy, do we have junk drawers, especially especially. Did you take, oh, that's right, that's from our kitchen. Let's see, what do we have in here?
Well, here's the thing that appears in many people's
The key
junk
to
drawers.
what?
The key to what, right? So, assuming you know what the key is, if you don't know what the key is, one of the things I like to do is when we're organizing houses, we often find them. So I get a container, a pretty vase or something like that, and all the keys that we can't identify, I put in there. And then when we're done, we can check and see whether we need it. And if we don't know where it goes at that point, we throw it out. But if you know where it goes, one thing we talked about on the refrigerator, the magnets on the refrigerator, and I really like those. That's the thing, if you come home from work, you put your keys on the refrigerator, then you're going to know. Here's something called a key keeper. So if you have lots of keys, you can list down here, you know, this is the condo key, and this is the extra set of my son's key, and all of it, and then just stick them right in here.
Boy, you have to really be organized to have one of these. That's really...
I wouldn't do this. I mean,
really
I would never be that organized. But I know people, you know, who would do that, and it's not, again, it's not that difficult if you do it right away. So it's just one of those things that works if you like that particular thing. Notice how, here's an example, some thin wire, very useful if you want it. You know, I mean, if it's like if you need it and you want to know where it is, then it's useful. And if it's not, it's just junk, which is what it ends up becoming. So this is, again, where these kinds of things are really helpful. Putting like things together. Like, one of the things we do with organizing is just getting all the tools together and getting all the memorabilia together and getting all the cleaning supplies together. And that's what we're going to do in here. These are things for decorating cakes. There's probably, if we went through the cupboards up here, there's probably other things like that as well. So I would like to have a plastic box, like a shoe box, and I would just write on the outside of it, cake decorating, and put it in one of the less accessible, I don't know about you, but I don't decorate too many cakes.
Oh, once every millennium or so. Well, next we're going to show you the fun and excitement of recycling as we move on to the next level of spring cleaning.
Spring house cleaning, and Barbara Hemphill is here. She has a book out called Taming the Paper Tiger, and we're going to talk now about gadgets that will help us recycle, and that's all part of this house cleaning chore. Boy, this recycling has turned into something. So what do you have to offer us today?
Well, here's one of the real easy thing. If you want, in your garage, you can stick this kind of thing in and put the cans and the bottles that you take back to the store. So it's real easy to just pull this out, zip it up, throw it in the back of your car, and you're ready to recycle it.
Okay,
So,
that's a pretty neat deal.
isn't that neat? Yeah, that works really well. It works for dirty, I mean, they were intended as, they're marketed as dirty clothes baskets, but they also work extremely well for recycling. Just let it go, that's all right. Now down here,
I could do that. It just takes a little time. Yeah.
that's right, that's
Go
right.
ahead.
Now down here we've got newspapers. That's, you know, a big issue. These are different styles. If you've got a place to put them, then that helps. They also come in wood and different kinds of things, so that's another tool.
Okay.
Here's an issue, you know, we get these little bags that the fruits and vegetables and things come in. So this can hang right inside your pantry door, and you can stick them in the top, and then when you're racing out the door and you want one, you can easily pull one out. They're really nifty.
Okay, all right. This is interesting. I don't, in our house, we've got the big, of course, here we have this big yellow box. It's a little bit bigger than this, and you put your cans and your bottles and your papers all in that, just kind of pile it on each other in there. That's how we do it. What's this here?
Well, here's another style. This one you can label it whatever you're recycling. Here we've put on it magazines, and so you just lift it up and throw it in, and clear glass and tin. And then when you're ready to empty it, you can take it out and take it wherever you want to go.
Okay.
So if you want to keep it nice and neat and tidy, then that's, you know, one way to do it.
All right.
Here's another style if you have less space. This is tiered. Notice how these come out. Now I can drop the magazine, goes down in the bottom section. Here we put, yes, we have some compost in here.
Compost,
the real thing.
Right.
And
tin.
And then tin we here. And look at here, if the camera can come up here. See, these are just peel off labels so that you can put a sticker on here to tell your family which thing you're recycling in which bin.
Or in my case, put the ones up there to tell you what not to put in there, and then I, understand.
Whatever works.
Whatever works. What's this one?
Well, this is another little, if you have small amounts of things to recycle, a single person, for example, might not have much space, and that would work. One of the other things about recycling I think is important to say is it makes cleaning easier for people if they know that they're going to give it up to some other kind of good use.
Right.
And that's true of cleaning out your closet, for example. If you're recycling your clothes to somebody that's going to use it, it makes it a lot easier. So I think that's one
Okay.
of the real advantages.
Look
of
at what you need now to recycle.
Now, you don't need all of these at one
you
time.
need to have a room just for recycling.
No.
Add on a 15th room.
You pick your favorite.
Pick your favorite?
You pick which one you like. Well, I mean, you have to have one for newspapers, but you don't have to have all of them.
Right.
You can pick this one or this one or this one.
Okay.
Let's don't make this worse than it is.
Neat gadgets. Where do you find this stuff?
We want people to keep their pencils and papers handy because
Oh,
we've got
okay.
at the end of the show a whole list of where all these things gadgets can be bought. Again, we're talking about anywhere from $5 to $20 depending upon what it is that you're getting.
Okay, next, what about all that stuff piled in closets? The stuff you really need, you know, that you've coveted for a long time. Stuffed in drawers, stuffed in cupboards, like stacks of loose pictures, old CDs, old tapes from the 60s. Oh, don't you love those? Videotapes and other important stuff you don't want to be a part of. Well, Barbara proves we can all clean up nice when we come back. House cleaning can make us, according to Barbara, lead more organized lives, correct? If we do it correctly, especially if you have the right supplies. We're going to talk about that now. Here's some stuff, photos. Oh boy, those drive some people nuts. They're just in those packets all over, and CDs and tapes and piled in a corner.
Right. I want to back up just a second.
Okay.
I gave the price of the recycling stuff. It should be somewhere in the $25 to $30 range.
Okay.
Just didn't want to give people misinformation.
Okay. Where do we start?
Photographs. Well, that's something that collects everywhere. And one of the things that's important is to identify why you want to keep photographs. Some people want to keep photographs for posterity. So it's really important for them for keeping them for the family history. Some people want to keep them to use them. So if you're really into future posterity, then you're going to want acid-free boxes and things like that. Now here's something that I think is really nifty. This product's a show box. This is you can get for about $10. It does a lot of things. First of all, you can put the negatives right in here. You can label on the outside what the event is. You know, Johnny's graduation, whatever. And then here,
Cat drinking out of toilet.
This is so
Well, that's what it is. A cat with his head down the thing. Look at these. Look at this.
playing with the
Now watch
computer.
how it works. See this? Change picture. Do it again. Change picture. See how that works?
Cat's making candy.
That's like a slideshow.
Cat playing with the Christmas tree.
And you can store all the pictures in there, and all you have
Right.
to do is...
And it has a thing in the back that you can either stand it up this way or you can stand it up this way. So
That's
it's
great.
really a neat item.
This one is titled Miss Kitty 1993.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, Miss
Okay,
Kitty.
there's another pretty good
Here's
one.
another one. See, you can take them out of the envelope. Again, you've got them back from graduation, prom, or whatever. You can stick them in here like this, and then there's a little label. So you put the label on the top, and then you've got them all labeled together so they're really easy to use.
Can you see what that is? Let me turn that just sideways. You see you've got a container section for every
And then these-
set of pictures. You see that?
So these flip. Again, they're easy to use, and lots of times if they're easy, we use them. Another thing is, here's another box that you can label them. Key to this is to keep it with the lid off.
Okay.
Because if it's in the
Just hold it up so they can see it.
if it's in the closet and other things get put on top of it and it's too much trouble to unload it, so you say, oh well, I'll do that later. But if you keep the lid off and all you do is drop them in, it's just easier to
But put
organize.
dividers in there. And
Exactly.
label them and show them what yeah, that's
Exactly.
That's what we do.
I had one client one time who had an antique trunk. And she just dumped all the pictures in there, but she put the dates and the places on all of them. And then she could sit down on the floor and pull them out, and so she used them. That was an example of where somebody wanted the photographs for the purpose of enjoying them as opposed to the purpose of saving them for the future.
But it doesn't do you any good if you pull out a picture and you don't know what year.
It's true.
You have to keep the negatives with the pack of pictures.
Well, you also have to label where it is, when it is, what the
But-
picture's
Who it
at,
is.
who it is.
But
Yeah.
the things that help with this is at least if you put them, if they're together and it says Johnny's graduation, at least they're approximately
Then
right.
you figure Johnny's in there somewhere.
Yeah, he's in there someplace. Yeah, or
And he did make it through school.
You have to have a section, men I have dated, and you put their names on because you can't remember, correct? Okay. Okay.
This is where you want to practice the art of wastebasketry as well. Less is really more, because if you have so many pictures, one time I had a client whose mother died and left her 20 dressers full of stuff. And it was so much that she didn't enjoy any of it, where if she would have just gotten some boxes that were well labeled, it would have had a lot more meaning. So there's one of the things you want to ask, is this the legacy I want to leave my children?
Is there a rule of thumb on, well, I know about pictures, but you do have rules of thumb in your book that say if you haven't worn it, used it for 6 months or a year, get rid of it. Chances are you'll never use it.
Well, again, that's a personal thing.
Is.
It's a real personal thing, because you may say, for example, somebody cleaned out and said, the only time I'd wear this if I went to a Halloween party. Well, so create a costume trunk. You know, you can use things in a way, how old they are doesn't necessarily mean that they're not meaningful.
A costume trunk?
Oh, yeah, so that when Halloween comes, well, you've got a thing
You
to
can put that in the recycling room that you've added on. You got all these trunks and things to store things in.
Here's the thing, a lot of people buy greeting cards. And here's a real easy, inexpensive thing that you can sort them by categories so that when you want one, you can find it. You can also use it to sort greeting cards of people that you want, memorabilia, greeting cards that come into you of people you want to keep.
Okay.
Very nice. What about those CDs and magazines and tapes and things like that?
Well, here's some examples, again, about tools that work. Baskets you can use very easily, putting them like things together. Magazines, catalogs go in a mask. This is a favorite compact disc tool because everybody's got some little corner. This will hang on a wall or whatever. So having the right tool makes a lot of difference.
All right. Some information for you. If you're interested, the container catalog, there's a 1-800 number you can call, and they've got all kinds of stuff in there. 1-800-733-3532. The Lillian Vernon catalog. Now, there are a lot of products in the Lillian Vernon catalog that you saw today. 1-800-285-5555. And Hold Everything. That's at Pioneer Place on the 3rd floor. Also, there's going to be a book signing for the book that Barbara has written, Taming the Paper Tiger, today noon at Beaverton Book Company. And the address is 11773 Southwest Beaverton Hillsdale Highway, and the number there is 644-7666. We thank you, Barbara.
Thank you.
All righty, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, Paula Gunnis is going to give us a medical update. Stay with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. A client of mine moved into a new house. He said, oh, this is wonderful. There's a basement. You know, I'm going to put a big desk and a filing cabinet and everything down in the basement. It'll be just wonderful. He said, I hate it.
After 15 years as a professional organizer, Barbara Hemphill can tell you what works and what doesn't when designing a home office. Number 1 on her troubleshooting list, the wrong location.
I've been a freelance writer off and on for many years, so I've set up several offices on dining room tables and corners of kitchens. And this time I knew I was going to be here on a permanent basis. So the first thing was how to get an office into an 1,800 square foot house without taking over the 1,800 square foot house. The second thing was I realized I really didn't want to be in a secluded area.
Well, this is effective for a variety of reasons. One is, here's a case of where a formal living room area has been identified as a place to have a home office. Because the formal living space, in reality, we use what? Once a month, you know? Maybe once a week if we're a really active family. But an office, she's using every single day. So she's picked a place that she wanted to be. Filing system, very important. One of the reasons that many home offices do not work is that they do not have enough filing space. And the added convenience is that she's selected a file that is lower that gives her countertop space. Now, one of the corrections or one of the changes that I would probably make in this office is this chair. Here, a thing that would make an enormous difference would be a chair that would swivel, so that she could swivel from here to the files to the computer with great ease. I grew up on a farm in Nebraska, and my father used to say half of any job is having the right tool. Here's an example of where the right tool would really make a difference. It's a more relaxed atmosphere in many ways. I think one of the joys of a home office is that it can look like us, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't look professional.
I think that when people see it, they say, and I think subconsciously they just say, gee, I wish I would have thought of it, or I wish I could do it.
For us, it was a net savings of about $300 a month to bring our office home. Plus, we reap the benefit of owning it.
Kate and Ted Berghaus needed lots of space if they were both going to work at home, so they built an addition, a second-story his and hers home office that can easily convert back to normal living space if they ever sell the house.
Before they designed it, they said, what do we need to be able to do here? So we have a place here for Ted to do the things he does in 2 different arenas, looking at drawings, sitting at his desk. Administrative people to sit there, storage to go over there, his wife's office to be out there. We've got a copy machine, we've got fax machine, so that you don't have to run somewhere to do it, which is in fact what a lot of people have to do within their home offices. So having the right equipment really makes a difference. One of the things we're seeing here is that for him, contacts, staying in touch with people, is a really big issue. So Rolodexes are really important. When I look at how crowded his desk is and how crowded some of this area is, he might be able to get rid of some of these things so that at least wouldn't be in his most accessible space. Like everything else, you know, there are good things and there are bad things. But a home office really allows people to be who they are, and you want to present the best side of who you are to your clients. So I encourage people to walk into their office and say, if I were walking into someone else's office, what would I think when I walked in here?
This is Kiplinger's Personal Finance Report.
40. How organized is your desk, your office, your life? If you filed something 5 years ago, could you find it today, right away? Chances are probably not. Most of us could benefit from being better organized, and here to help us this morning is Barbara Hemphill, author of the new book, Taming the Office Tiger, and good morning.
Good morning.
Just like that, you can't find it. Most of us are drowning under paperwork. How do we get out from underneath of it?
Well, first we want to recognize that paper is postponed decisions. If you just pile it up, it's not of any value to you. And paper information is power if you can use it and if you can find it when you need it.
That's the big question. Find it when you need it.
Right.
How does an office go about setting up a system that actually works for them so that they can go file something and then when they need it, get it right away?
Well, you hit on something that's really important, and that is to set up a system. Unfortunately, in the past, this has been done by default. It's been relegated to be a clerical thing, and now companies need to recognize, management needs to recognize that paper is an issue that's here to stay.
How do they do that? What do they do?
Well, they make decisions about recognizing what's really important in terms of setting up a system. Information is power if you can find it. And so one of the things executives have to do is say, what is it that we really need?
But in the book you write about setting up an old-fashioned system and cross-referencing it with your computer. How do you do that?
Well, one of the things that we're beginning to recognize, I've been a professional organizer for 17 years, and we're beginning to recognize that the computer is not going to give us the paperless office. It, in fact, has generated more than ever before, 600 million pages per day. That's enough for a 72-mile-long filing cabinet. And so we're beginning to look at how we can harness the computer to retrieve the paper, not to digitize it and get rid of it, but to retrieve it, to use it as a way for value for us.
You write in the book, instead of making names on the files, put numbers and cross-reference it with your computer.
Absolutely.
You also talk about the art of wastebasketry. I don't even know if that's a word. Let's talk about
is now.
It is now. You take things and just throw them in the waste paper basket, but you say you have to ask yourself a couple of questions
well,
first.
Research,
I think we have a graphic of that, actually, but go ahead.
Research shows that 80% of what we keep we never use, and I've proven it over and over. I mean, just ask the typical person to go into their files and open them up and see how many they're really using. And so one of the questions is, do I really need to keep this? Does it require any action? Does it have a specific use, just in case is not specific enough?
Right.
Is it recent enough to be useful? Would it be difficult to obtain again? Does it exist elsewhere? Those are all questions that are really important.
And if you answer yes to those questions?
Well, if you answer no, then you can throw them away. If you answer yes, you're going to keep them. And the important thing is to identify that there are 2 ways you can keep them. There are simply things that you keep in case you need, and that's what you put into a filing system. And many people, in fact, have never seen a filing system that works. All they see are these stuffed, crammed drawers. And one of the things I'm trying to teach executives is to say, this is information. This is not paper. This translates into customers, customer service opportunities, bottom line profit.
And it's also good to point out that it can be liberating, though, to just throw a lot of the stuff in the waste paper basket.
Absolutely.
You make a good point. You say that you have to convince executives that this is no longer the simple job of an assistant.
This is not administrivia.
How do you get executives to realize that they need to do this as well?
Well, the average executive spends 150